everyone. Welcome back to
the Ginger and Spice podcast.
This is our 2 weekly wrap up. It's obviously been 2 weeks since the last time that we were here. And in those 2 weeks, we have been reading all things Cowboy.
Oh my God, it's been delicious.
Yeah.
Has it been delightful?
It's been really, really great.
Mm.
So, as a lot of you probably already know, we did host a cowboy-themed bookish brunch. And we hosted that in Kent. It was our very first one. We are planning to do more.
Yep. Big time.
Like I said, it was cowboy themed, and that was to fit in with the cowboy theme on socials as well. However, because of the brunch, we didn't really get to read as many cowboy books as we would have liked. We usually kind of read 3 to 5 books a week, and actually in the last 2 weeks, I think we only read like 4 cowboy books.
Yeah.
One of them's like cowboy-ish.
Yeah.
But 3 of them were full cowboy.
Yeah.
To be fair, the 3 books that we did pick that were full cowboy were 10/10s.
Oh, I enjoyed myself too much.
We were lucky, really, that the books that we picked were all really good.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell the people what books that we read?
Absolutely. Okay, so the books that we are going to go through, we have got Bull Rush by Maggie Rowden, Alive and Wells by Billie Hannah, Where We Burn by Dani Rose, and Veiled Obsession by Billie Kermack.
Should we just have a quick chit chat about the brunch for the people that weren't there?
Yes, let's do it.
Seeing as it was cowboy themed anyway.
Absolutely.
So, I think the 2 of us completely underestimated what goes into planning such an event.
Yeah. We didn't really have a lot of organisational skills between the 2 of us.
We made a lot of lists.
We made so many lists!
And did fuck all with them.
Yeah! Yeah. It's actually really pointless writing all those lists.
Yeah, because
I think I've got like 5 notebooks and all of them have one list in them each. All of which I haven't gone back to any of them.
Yeah, none of them have been ticked off.
No.
I actually forgot to say, you know how I couldn't find the attendees list?
Yeah.
So I basically printed off a list of everyone that was attending so I could tick them off or get someone at the door to tick them off as they arrived. And I fucking lost it on the day. I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was like, I know I printed it off, but I couldn't remember where to put it. Found it today.
Oh, that's handy.
It was in my Zodiac Academy folder.
That's really good there.
Don't know how I got there.
Absolutely pointless.
So basically, because we didn't have like an attendees list, and where the brunch was held, it's in actually quite a big bar stroke nightclub, and we were just in like one room, one bar, and there's a couple of doors that lead you into this bar, and in all honesty, fucking anybody could have just walked in, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a bit of a free-for-all, wasn't it?
Picked up the Prosecco that was on the side and
because
had a whale of a time.
There was another brunch going on upstairs. Yeah. I don't really feel like anyone understood which brunch they were meant to go to.
No.
However, I do know everyone that I interacted with knew who we were.
Yeah, so that's a good sign.
Other than, obviously, our names were on the door.
So, saying that, we had a massive sign outside that says, "Welcome to the Ginger and Spice," something like 2025 Summer Bookish Brunch, cowboy themed, something like that. I can't remember. Massive sign outside the door. And we still had people walking past that sign after reading it, putting their head in and going, is this Abby's hen do? And I was like, you just walked past the sign outside that says, "Welcome to Ginger and Spice Brunch." None of those words were any of the same words that just came out your mouth.
Some other guy walked in as well with this massive bag of balloons, green balloons for a start.
Oh,
no way near the theme that we've got going on.
This.
Did you not?
No.
Just some random bloke walking in with a bag of balloons, and he was like, I think I'm meant to be here."
No.
Well, no. Fucking cowboy hat on, mate.
Yeah, there was so many events going on that day at the venue. Like I said, the place is huge, that there was just fucking people everywhere, which was great and everything. It made it more vibey, but obviously it also meant that it could have potentially have been a free-for-all. In all honesty, we had so many bottles of Prosecco left over that we'd already pre-bought that actually I wouldn't have minded if people just walked in and started drinking it. We were literally giving them away.
It got to the point where we got to the end of the brunch and we had 13 bottles left. So we had to do a limbo to literally give the bottles of Prosecco away.
Yeah. If you can get under this,
if you can just
limbo,
get under this height,
you can have the Prosecco.
At one point, someone had 2 bottles. I was like, just take it. just have it all.
It was really good.
It was
actually.
great. It was a great
And everybody
day.
dressed up. Everybody really got into the theme of it. The food was amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Moo Moo's, by the way, which is where it was. The venue was incredible. And it fitted the vibe as well perfectly. Just the way that the room was. It was very antique-y. It was given Western bar.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
There was a big chalkboard in there. That was fun. And yeah, it was just really good. We had a Shania Twain tribute act. She was amazing. Everyone that turned up, amazing. Everybody brought the vibes. It was so good. I think there was like between 40 and 50 people in total, maybe 45, including us, I think, in total. We definitely could have had more people there. However, to control the numbers, we were comfortable with sort of 40-ish. We didn't really want to push it too high. But yeah, next brunch is hopefully going to be in February, and it'll just be like a romance themed. It'll be like Valentine's, so we're thinking like lots of reds, lots of pinks, lots of love hearts, lots of candy, sweets,
yay!
That kind of vibe. So we think we'll probably do a brunch again. Our original thought was to do a retreat for Valentine's, but I think we're swaying more to a brunch because it's probably easier and cheaper to organize. And the more people that are able to come, the cheaper you can make the tickets for everyone as well. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Keep your ears peeled and eyes peeled on socials for more info. We'll keep people updated. Obviously, we'll keep you updated on here as well. Anyway, I think that's probably enough chit chat about the brunch. Let's get into the books. What do you want to start with?
Woohoo! Let's start with Bull Rush. Let's start with Ramsay.
So we've seen this a lot on social media, to be fair. And the people that have read it absolutely fucking love it.
Oh my god, devoured it.
Yeah, and talk about it all the time. So this is apparently a part of a series. Do you have the series information? Because I don't. I think the next book is called Dark Horse. Now I only know that because so many people have put in their comments
that the next one is better than the first one.
Which
is saying a lot because Ramsay did things. I don't know how you could top
Ramsay. Like people, someone said something about the name Grant, so I'm assuming Grant is the next book.
That's his brother.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So fuck knows I ain't gonna top Ramsay because he was a husband with a capital H. Yeah. I said that on socials as well, but I stand by it and I keep saying it.
I agree. I fully agree. Yep. That man did things.
Oh my god.
All of my areas.
There's a scene in this book which we'll get to shortly, but we couldn't really talk about it on socials because of probably the graphicness of it, and we'll try and keep it semi-PG so we don't have to 18 plus this episode, but we cannot talk about it at all on social. We just couldn't even say the words. So I'm actually buzzing to talk about that
gagging to talk about it
scene because oh my god, that was the moment where I was like, I would lay down my life for you.
Honestly. Can you imagine being her in that scene?
One simply cannot.
The eye contact as well.
It was insane. The tension in the whole book was insane, but in that specific scene, that is honestly one of the best chili pepper scenes I've ever read. Oh my god, it was just so good because of like the tension and the eye contact and the pacing of the scene. 10 out of 10. But yeah, anyway, do you want to give a rundown of this book and then we can get to the good stuff?
Love to. So we have got Hazel, who is going for a loan so that she can do some renos on her inn. So she goes in, she asks for the loan. The lady says, no, sorry, I can do, because you're married to a felon. She's like, what? No, I'm not. I'm not married. I got divorced. She's like, no, it says here you're still married to some guy called Ramsay. So that's not ideal. Then we cut to Ramsay, who is talking to his parole officer, and his parole officer is like, look, I think it's about time that you settle down, sort your life out, get your shit together. So he goes back to the ranch where the inn is. He ends up speaking to Hazel, and he says to her, listen, I need 90 days. Me and you, why don't we act like a married couple? If we can get through those 90 days, I will let you keep the inn, and I will give you £1 million. And she agrees, which is absolutely wild considering she's engaged to someone else.
Who also agrees.
So
yeah, we do basically just cut to him having this conversation with his parole officer. And I'm sure the parole officer says something like, you need some permanent accommodation for your parole. Because I can't remember, but I think he was just going to like wing it and see where he ended up, see where the wind took him. And he was like, no. You need a permanent accommodation, like you need an actual address. And he was like, I know where I can go. So yeah, he goes to Hazel and he basically says to her, like, look, just give me like 90 days. I just need a few months. I want to live together, and at the end of those few months we can part ways. Fine, you can keep the inn that I promised you in our divorce not divorce, and I'll give you $1 million and you can do up the inn and do the rentals and all that kind of stuff, because obviously she didn't get the loan. So she was like, that kind of sounds too good to be true. Also, I'm engaged now, like my fiance is definitely not going to go for that. So Ramsay's saying, like, the caveat to this is, I want to sleep in bed with you.
Yeah, he does.
As well. So she's like, look, my fiance's not going to go for this. So she goes to her fiance, and her fiance is like, it's $1 million though. Yeah, okay, do it. And she's like, what do you mean just do it? That's kind of sketchy. Like, if the role, she literally says
sketchy.
to him, it is, and she literally says to him, like, if the roles were reversed, I wouldn't be happy with you doing that. And he was like, yeah, but it's only like 90 days and it's $1 million, like, and you'll have the inn. So she's like, okay, fuck it. So basically, I think like roughly 5 years have passed since she assumed that she had been divorced. And for whatever reason, the divorce obviously didn't go through. So at the end of the 90 days, obviously they plan to then officially get their divorce. And she'll have $1 million and the inn. And obviously, you insert the one bed trope, and it all goes to shit, really.
Yeah. Honestly, though, when he came onto that ranch and he was stood outside of her inn, naked, and then everyone in the inn is like looking out the window, and she's like, "Oh, for
what was it? He was like showering or something."
Yeah, he was showering outside the window of the inn, and so all the old ladies are like, "Oh, who's this lovely chap?" And she's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake." And I was like, "Oh,
he was just great. He just turned up. Great. He gave zero fucks." Yeah, and I think that's what I like the most about him, actually. Apart from, his obvious talents and dirty mouth, I actually very much liked that he just did not give a fuck.
He didn't give a flying fuck. He didn't care
about nothing. He was like, I'm here to get my women. And that's it, really. He really does go to bat for her. Like, he absolutely loves her. And, all those feelings that they had, like, back in the day, all those years ago, kind of come flooding back for both of them. And that includes all the spicy feelings.
Oh, it does indeed.
I think, first of all, when he first moves in, she's like, listen, I'm not just going to get in bed with you straight away. Like, I need a few days to adjust to this, so I'm going to sleep in the guest room. So she does. And that's when he finds her on the phone to her fiance. So for context, her fiance has fucked off to Vegas for a work trip or whatever for like 10 weeks. Weird. He was proper sketchy from the beginning, I will say. There was definitely something off with him. The scene that we are talking about is after she's like, oh, I'll just stay in the guest room, blah, blah, blah. So there's one night, her fiance's in Vegas. She's on FaceTime. Things are getting a bit heated and a bit spicy between them. And she's doing bits to herself with an object that has been molded into the shape of her current fiance's pee-pee.
Yeah, but what's more funny is knowing what happens next.
Yeah. Do you want to talk us through that?
Yeah, I'd love to. So she's giving it the big un while she's on FaceTime. So then Ramsay comes in and then he just clocks eyes. He's like watching.
He's like walking past the door or something. Yeah. And she's just like left it open.
She's like all out. Well, not quite. She's got the cover over herself, but he can hear everything that's going on. So obviously he's kind of like, I'm interested.
Yeah.
What's going on in here then? So he walks in, clocks eyes on her, and then he gets the cover and then he lifts it up and just watches her doing the little bits to herself. So Curtis starts to get like proper turned on the other end of the telephone. She still clocks eyes, he still clocks eyes with her, and then she just decides that she can't do it anymore.
I think she goes to stop, and he basically sort of mouths like, don't you dare, or insinuates for her to like carry on. No, he grabs her hand because she goes to stop.
Yeah. So she goes to stop, but he's like, no, I'm not having this. So he grabs her hand and then he proceeds to carry on with said toy. So that's the one thing that's really funny, is that the toy is shaped like her current partner.
Yeah.
But he's using it on her. Yeah. So he kind of uses the toy, but uses his fingers at the same time. She obviously explodes because...
I think he uses his mouth at one point. Does he take the toy out and use his mouth? I can't remember, but he's good. He's definitely got his mouth on her at one point. So again, bearing in mind, Chris doesn't know this is going on. So if you imagine the phone is here in front of her face, she's lying down.
Oh!
And obviously Ramsay is behind the phone.
Yeah.
Being very quiet. And,
down there.
And Curtis obviously is like, holy shit, like she's so turned on
really
right
turned
now.
On.
And Curtis is like, I can't remember what he says, something like, oh, you know what you need to call me or something like that. So she goes, yes, daddy.
Yeah!
But she's like internally cringing. And obviously Ramsay's like, who is this bloke? It was just really seedy the way he was like asking her for it, and the way it was obviously written to be that he was just a bit of a creep, and that very much came across. So he's like, holy shit, you're like so turned on. So she like, Ramsay gets her off while she's on FaceTime, and then Curtis gets himself off on the phone. So he then finishes, and then Ramsay makes her go again.
Yeah.
So she starts going again, and Curtis is on the phone like, holy shit, like,
you're gonna
so
do it again.
Oh my god, look at you going. Like, you go, girl. I am
You go, girl.
Yeah. So she's like going again with like Ramsay there.
She then hangs up the phone to Curtis because she's so turned on and she doesn't really know what she's saying or doing at this point. So he proceeds to finish over her stomach, and then he writes mine with his finger. And I'm not gonna lie, that was sexy as hell.
He literally writes mine in his man juice. Yeah, on her stomach. I really feel like we just haven't done that scene justice by talking about it. It is literally like one of those scenes that you have to read to experience.
And do you know what? Like, well, we didn't read it because we audiobooked it.
Yeah.
And Aidan Snow is one of the narrators, and his voice is...
Oh my god, absolutely insane. It suited him as well, like to a T. Like Aidan Snow's voice in this was perfect for the character. Top tier. It's also duet narration, which is obviously really good. It really helps in those spicy scenes when it's duet, like really fucking helps.
And that specific chapter, because I had to write it down because I was like, I'll come back to that shortly, is chapter 17.
Yeah, chapter 17. So you don't even have to wait that long.
Yeah.
Ramsay is also an NFL player, and you do get to know the reason that he went to prison, and it is sort of semi-related around him being an NFL player. That does play a part into the plot. And honestly, I will say the author of this, Maggie Rowden, I swear she must have like broken into my house, climbed inside my brain whilst I was sleeping, and just sifted through all of the like potentials of decent men and just built the most ideal one from my brain. Because an NFL playing cowboy with a dirty mouth, EDE, and absolute husband behaviour. Are you joking me?
PP as well.
And a Pierce PP. Are you joking?
I know. We wouldn't survive. I mean, I'd try my hardest, but I don't feel like we would survive.
Ramsay or a Pierce PP?
Both.
Okay, should we do some ratings for this?
Absolutely, we should.
Let's start with stars. What did you give it?
I gave it 4.5 as my rating, and I gave it 3.5 for spice.
Yes, I gave it 4.5 for stars, and I gave it 3.5 for chili peppers.
For chili peppers.
So my fave scene is the one when she's on FaceTime. Is that your one as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've actually got a note at the end here in my trusty notebook that says, this is one of the hottest scenes I've ever read. Wow. So I've got some quotes. So the first one is actually quite a cute quote, and I actually did bring a tear to my eye. I actually wrote tears at the end of it. This is Ramsay talking to Hazel. He says, I love this ranch, sugar. There are memories that hurt, yes, but this ranch is as much you as anything else it's ever been. Better for having been loved by you, same as me.
God, he's so great.
Because obviously, because they're married, they'd already been in love. So it was like you went into the middle of their love story, and it was like a reconnection. It was just so beautiful as well. Like, because obviously usually they just, when you read these books, they're just meeting for the first time. And it was like a second chance at their like little love story. And it was so beautiful to hear him say things like that.
Yeah.
I really loved it. It was just a nice change as well. Like I really loved it. And him, he was amazing. He also says the check for $1 million is on the nightstand.
I wouldn't mind hearing that at least once in my life.
Why has no one ever said that to me?
At least once.
Yeah.
I feel like I deserve that.
Yeah.
Surely.
Even if it bounces, just say it to me. Let me live in a bubble for a minute.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Just write it.
Yeah. Check for $1 million's on the nightstand. Okay. Cool. Thanks. So the next quote, I've got two more. The next quote is, they have a little bit of an argument and then they kind of reconcile after. And he says to her, the first thing I want is you on your knees giving me a full-throated apology.
Yeah, I'd do it. I would. Honestly, would do it.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah. He deserved more than
You're
that,
absolutely
if anything.
right. Yep. The last quote I have is, ride me.
Also fine. I actually have a quote, because this was obviously hot as fuck. Let go of my wife or I'll smear your brains across the floor.
Yeah, told you, husband. Big husband energy.
Yeah, loved it.
BHE. It's got BDE and BHE. Big dick energy and big husband energy. Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
What a combo.
That's a really good combo.
That describes Ramsay like to a T.
Yeah, it really does.
I would say if you're into cowboy romance, like, you have to read this. I cannot possibly fathom that the next book is even better.
We'll see. I mean, we trust you. We do trust you. Like, we trust you all.
Yeah.
Whatever. But we'll see. That's all I'm saying.
I just don't know if anyone. He's definitely taken a place on, like, he's definitely on the book husband kind of list.
How many people have you got on that list?
One.
He's the only one
on the book husband list.
That's really good. That's good going.
Yeah. The list that I just invented. Because I didn't have one before now.
Yeah. That's fine. I agree.
Okay, so should we go on to the next one?
Yes.
Should we do Alive and Wells?
Alive and Wells.
Okay, I just want to say, I actually really love this. So this was actually very fluffy, and it was only like 300 pages. What I find sometimes, me personally, I don't usually like anything that's too fluffy. And the only way I can really stay engaged in something that is really fluffy is if it is also filled with some really severe smut. Because otherwise, I get bored. However, the pacing in this and the way it was written was really, really good. Because I was actually kept engaged from the very beginning. I will say, we had gone from reading some of the darkest and depraved shit you've ever seen in your life. Genuinely, that's not an exaggeration.
It's not.
And so we literally went from like really dark, depraved, taboo shit. And then the next book was Alive and Wells. And I don't know if I enjoyed it more because it was really well
necessary
needed
at that point.
Yeah, I really needed that switch. So that may have played a part in it. All I know is I had a fucking great time.
Yeah,
I loved it start to finish. Absolutely loved it. It was cute. It was fluffy. It was sweet. It was still really spicy. Like, yeah, well, maybe not really spicy. It was still spicy.
It was spicy.
But it was like the perfect amount for the story that was being told. Do you want to give a rundown?
Absolutely, I do. Okay, so we have got Cecily, who is in an abusive relationship with a guy called KJ. So she has been talking to a lady called Beryl via text for the past sort of 6 months. And Beryl said, you know what? Whenever you're ready to get out of there, I've got a job for you on a ranch. So just get out as soon as you can and come to me and I will keep you safe. So one night, KJ gets home and he is acting right up. Like, he was like, I think he hit her for the first time.
He pulled a gun
out. Yeah, he went wild. So she manages to get into the car and then she flees. Yeah. So she makes her way to where she thinks Beryl is. On the way, she has a little bit of a breakdown. Some hot cowboy stops and helps her. She watches him. She's like, he's nice. Yeah. He fixes her tyre and then she is on her way. She makes her way to the ranch. And lo and behold, hot cowboy that helped her out with the car is her new boss, obviously.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Who'd have fucking thunk it?
Yeah.
In a cowboy romance.
Oh, of course. So Mr. Grumpy Austin Wells is her new boss, and he is delightful. And obviously, this is going to be the road to their new relationship.
So Austin is 37 and Cecily is 30. So they're really lovely ages. Actually, the emotional maturity was better.
Yeah.
Their communication was better. Their ages were reflected in their ability to communicate a little bit better. I will say at first, like, Austin is your typical kind of like grumpy cowboy, but it was actually really quite endearing. Sometimes the grumpiness can be taken too far, but I think it was really quite endearing. Especially, I really liked when he asked her about texting. So he bought her a new phone because obviously she just fled, and he bought her a new phone. They went into town, he got her a phone, and he basically gave it to her, and there was like one contact in there, and she was like, oh, did you put your number in my phone? And he's like, well, yeah. And she was like,
you do text?
Are you planning on like texting me? So he was like, I might do. Mate. And she was like, you know how to text? And he was like, well, yeah, what are we going to talk about then? And then she tries to push him a little bit. And it was just really, it was so cute because he was all like, he was fumbling around like over his words a little bit and he was getting all a little bit like shy.
Also, what I really loved about her was where she's come from, like this abusive relationship. She could have turned up at that ranch and just really like gone in on herself and, you know, like not really said a lot of words. But she was funny. She gave as much as she got. She got on with the lads. Like they invited her down to the lake and it was like, oh, it was just lovely.
Yeah, because he's got all of his brothers and that there, like the whole family. Typical sort of cowboy romance where there's lots of brothers, there's lots of cousins, like families there.
Kids.
Yeah, kids are running around. And they really, like, they take to her and accept her in. And it was obviously Beryl that invited her there. And Beryl was sort of like, you know, you'll treat her well and you'll be accommodating. And they basically are just like totally normal with her from the get-go, you know, having banter with her and stuff like that. And she does exactly that. She gives as good as she gets. And she's funny, she's witty, she's quick on it as well.
Yeah, big time.
I really liked her. I really liked him. I thought they were really well fitted and they were really well written for each other as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed their company a lot.
Shall we just get into ratings?
Yes, absolutely.
What did you give it stars and chili pepper?
So I gave it 4.5 for the stars and I gave it 3 for the schleza.
So I gave it 4.5 for stars and I gave it 2.5 for chili peppers.
Chili peppers.
So we both gave this one 4.5 as well.
Yeah.
So 4.5 for Bill Rush and we also both gave Alive and Wells 4.5.
Yep.
I actually I have a note here that says this would have been 5 stars if the spice just had a little bit more oomph and if the plot had kind of like happened a little bit earlier on as well, but it really didn't take away from the enjoyment, to be honest. That's just me nitpicking, to be honest. It is a fucking great palate cleanser.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
It really is. Like, you could just smash this out so easy and then get rid of all of those really dirty and depraved thoughts from the dark romance and stuff.
So this is the same as the last book that we just read. Everyone said that the second book is better. Seeing Red.
Yep.
So obviously we've got to go into that.
Yeah. Do you have any favourite scenes or anything in this one to talk about?
So my favourite scene in this one, so it was when they finally come together. And it was just how they end up coming together. So I'm pretty sure she was drunk the night before and she was staying around his house. And I think she was trying to get him to do stuff with her, but he was like, oh no, I can't do that because you're pissed.
Oh, yeah.
So the next morning, she sort of gets up, he goes to work, and then she is in the shower and she takes a picture of her with the shower head and is like, shall I use this on myself or are you going to come and help me? And then he says something like, give me 2 seconds, I'll be there. And I said this to you before, didn't I? I could just picture him running, legging it over to the cabin so that he can give her a good scene.
In like slow-mo.
Yeah.
With some like music in the background. I went to sing the EastEnders theme tune then. I know, yeah, definitely not EastEnders. Anyone in the US listens to this won't get that reference. But yeah, just like running slow-mo.
Don't use the shower head.
Yeah. I'm coming. We're just running in his dirty cowboy boots.
Yeah.
Covered in horse shit.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. And he did. He got in there and he gave her a really good scene too.
This is definitely giving like Silver Pines. If you've read any of Paisley Hope's books where you've got like the wider family, small town cowboy romance, it's on a ranch, you know, and it's very obvious that each one is going to follow like one of the male main characters from like the family. But this is really great. Yeah, I actually couldn't recommend it more, to be honest. Okay, should we move on to the next one?
I'm fucking buzzing about this one.
Yeah.
Buzzing off my tiny big tits. Ex-boyfriend's dad. Hot Daddy Cowboy. This is called Where We Burn. And it is Hot Daddy Cowboy. It is ex-boyfriend's dad. It is birthday girl, but make it cowboy. It's actually everything and more.
Yeah. Age gap, small town. Fuck it.
Fuck it. There's so many things.
I cannot even. This is my favourite book of like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I would say.
For sure.
In our notebooks, we have a thing that says final impressions. And mine says, this was amazing from page 1. I was hooked the whole way through.
Yeah. Oh, God, it was so good. Oh, my God. Everything about it. And you know, like where there was those moments where it was like, this is a miscommunication situation happening right here, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then it fucking didn't. Do you know why? Because they're adults. Yeah. That's why.
It was resolved immediately.
It was resolved immediately.
You were definitely led to believe it was going to be a little miscommunication trope. And then she switched it up and I was like, that was clever, that.
That was fucking clever.
Was clever.
It was so clever.
Leading me down that little road there.
I was about to kick off.
And then you doubled back.
Yeah.
And rectified it. and made it all right.
Oh, thank
and
God
actually,
for that,
I appreciated
honestly.
it, to be honest. It actually made it better because we were led to believe it was going to be
I liked that.
miscommunication.
I was at the edge of my seat,
Yes,
and then I was like, oh God, I'm okay again.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Do you want to give a rundown on this one?
Okay, so we have got Piper, who lives with her sister Violet, and they live in this lovely small town. Piper gets a job in a bar, and there is a bloody lovely gentleman that comes and sits with her and has little tiny flirts, and his name is Christian Crawford. So he's there most nights. They have a little drink together, a little flirt, and then one day his son Travis comes in, and she's like, oh, he's a bit of all right. I can't believe that's his son. Travis comes over, they have a little flirt, and then they end up together, much to Christian's annoyance.
Yeah.
6 months later, she realises she's actually made a really shit decision because Travis is a bit of a twat.
So she meets Christian's son, Travis, and, they get to know each other. And the reason she pursues something with Travis is because she feels like Christian isn't really interested. She's like, I don't know if he actually likes me or not, because he was being a little bit standoffish and only engaging in, the odd flirt. And then she was sort of second guessing herself. A man like that's never going to be interested in a woman like me. I've got curves. I've got a bit of a stomach, blah, blah, blah. And she owns her body, but she was just sort of very much like a man like that couldn't possibly ever be attracted to someone like me. So she goes for baby Crawford.
Yeah.
She goes for Travis, the son. He shows an interest. Now, we do find out, spoiler not spoiler, that Travis, it was very obvious from that very first moment that Travis spots her, because it says in it that he sees his dad looking at her.
Yeah.
And then he goes over and approaches her. So Travis does only get with her to piss his dad off, because their relationship is fucking terrible.
So fucking
it's dog
bad.
shit.
Oh,
It's
dear Lord.
It's not even in hell, it's below hell. Their relationship is just awful. Travis is a royal C-word.
He's an absolute cocksucker.
Yeah,
he
bad.
is the worst of the worst.
Yeah, and he's so degrading to her as well. They're now at a point where they absolutely fucking hate each other, but neither of them have left each other. And she's at a point where she's like, I can't bear to be around him anymore. I don't want to be with him anymore. I feel like I've made that decision. However, it's coming up to Christmas, and every year Christian Crawford, Daddy Crawford, invites people up to the ranch to help for 2 weeks in the lead up, because they have a Christmas tree farm, and they deliver Christmas trees out to the local community and stuff like that. So it's very, very busy, but they still need to run the ranch at the same time. So it's like an all hands on deck situation for 2 weeks in the run up to Christmas. Travis goes up there every year, and the dad invites him up because he's trying to build this relationship with him. But Travis every year does fuck all. He's lazy. He's entitled. He moans. He doesn't really get involved. And this year he decides to take Piper up with him, and Piper wants to go. So she ends up being like, well, I'm not going to end the relationship with him now when I'm about to spend 2 solid weeks with Daddy Crawford. I want to be around Daddy Crawford.
I want to be doing that. Yeah.
So she was like, I'm going to suck it up for 2 weeks with Travis just so I can be around his dad, because I actually enjoy his company, and obviously he's nice to look at. So she goes up there. Shit ends up going down after she arrives with Travis. Travis ends up getting chucked out by his dad. So she is then alone with Daddy Crawford.
This is a little bit of a spoiler, but he gets chucked out for a fucking good reason. He does hit her.
Yep, he uses physical fisticuffs on her.
Yeah, the little prick.
Yeah, gives her black eye and everything.
So the dad, Christian, goes fucking mental.
Yeah.
Which, too right, he should. But, it was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah. He throws him out and he
bad.
says, you're not welcome here anymore. Don't you dare ever fucking come back.
Yeah.
And then the son's, basically decides he's going to try and ruin her fucking life.
Sabotage all of them.
All their shit. So she ends up staying there anyway. They live in this little bubble for 2 weeks where obviously things progress quite substantially. And it's wonderful. Yeah. There is one scene I think we should talk about before we do ratings. And it is the... Tell me what you're reading, darling. He says something along those lines. Do you have the actual quote, what he says?
Yeah, of course I do.
So give context of this. Set the scene for us.
I'll set the scene for you. So it's 4:00 in the morning. He's obviously getting up early because he needs to go and do all of his ranch things. He goes downstairs and she is sat at the table on her own reading her book. So he goes to make some coffee, asks if she wants a little coffee. He then sits at the opposite end of the table with his coffee, and he's sort of just watching her reading this book. And he notices that she is clenching her thighs.
She's like wriggling around a little bit while she's just like minding her business reading. Obviously doesn't realise she's starting to fidget a little bit, you know.
Because we know why.
Getting a bit hot under the collar.
Yeah.
She's at a good little spicy scene.
She's had a spicy scene.
Yeah.
So he says to her, read to me, darling, nice and slow.
Honestly, I literally melted away. So at this point, Travis is still in the building. And the reason she's downstairs reading is because Travis doesn't like it when she reads in bed.
Yeah.
And it's the only time that she can kind of like get this time to herself to do what she wants. So she decides to obviously like be up early and read in the kitchen.
She fucking reads it. She does read it.
She reads it to him.
And then they both get hot under the collar.
Oh, it's so funny then, yeah. So she reads it to him. I can't even remember what she said, the word she said, but I think she starts it and then she looks up at him as if to be like, I can't keep reading this. He's like, keep going.
Yeah.
And in his head, he's like, I really shouldn't be fucking doing this. This is torture. This is real fucking torture.
They're both literally torturing each other.
Yeah.
Like
so
at this point.
She carries on reading it and then eventually she just kind of like abruptly stops, shuts the book and she's like, I've got to go. I need to just go and do something. It's like really obvious. She obviously had to go and see to herself. She was like way too turned on and was like, I need to sort this immediately. And before she like scarpers out the room, he just like grabs her and stands up. And then he whispers in her ear something like, I would love to give you exactly what you need right now.
Oh, it was, yeah. It was, yeah. It really was.
It was so hot. Honestly, cannot even tell you. This book, so good. It came out of left field. It came out of nowhere. Yeah. And it was fucking 10/10. It was so good.
It was so fucking good. There's another scene that I really enjoyed. So when their relationship progresses a little bit, so his brother is famous, like his brother is a singer, and she is obsessed with his brother. She's always like saying about how she's really like wants to meet him and all of this stuff. They're out for his other brother who owns the bar that she works in. It's for his birthday and they're out, but they can't be seen together because obviously people still think she's got this thing with Travis. So then she goes to the toilet and then he comes out and he follows her and he's like, come out to the car. Well, the truck, obviously. Yeah. Come out to the truck, gets her in the truck, has her on his lap. They're obviously doing the do. And then there's a little knock on the window.
Tap, tap, tap.
Just a little tap, tap, tap. And it's the brother, the famous brother, is literally just standing there like watching them through the window. And she's like, oh my God, it's him. I can't believe he's there.
She's literally still sat in his lap. Yeah. And like, he just like rolls down the window a bit.
And just has a
like,
conversation.
Window goes down. He's like, all right. And she's like,
oh my God, she's got a head.
It's nice to meet you. Whilst he's still inside her.
Yeah, but then when they get inside, when obviously they've recovered from the situation, she's just pure word vomit, isn't she? She just says so many words. Yeah. Oh, it was really good. It's just so good.
I can't wait for more of her writing. We've already, literally not even like a couple of hours ago, we were looking at a book, a Halloween novella I think she's doing. And then there's a Christmas one
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's obviously not just always about the spice. Like the book is obviously amazing. Like the book is good. The way it's paced, the plot, like everything. Like I said, we were hooked from page one. The way that the characters are written, the banter, it was just... yeah, start to finish. Honestly, I don't have any notes. Like, I've got no negative notes on this at all. Should we do ratings based on that?
Yes, absolutely.
What did you give it? Stars and chili peppers?
Oh, well, obviously Starsies, I gave it a 5 because I fucking lapped it up. And then Spice, I gave it a 3.5.
So Stars, I also gave it a 5. And chili peppers, I gave it 3.5.
Yes.
So we gave it the same.
I think the other nice thing about this was that there were other characters in this book that I think is being fed that they will be what the next books are about.
That's what I got, the gist as well.
So there's like a relationship that's would probably be enemies to lovers, which would be her sister Violet and Christian's brother Caleb.
Yeah.
And then also the famous brother fancies Christian's best friend, which I think would then be a reverse age gap one. So I'm absolutely buzzing if they are correct because I think they'd be amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, totally agree. Especially the reverse age gap one. I think that'll be so good because the vibe of what we got from the famous brother is like he's super chill.
Yeah.
But super like sexy and goes after what he wants and is unapologetic. Yeah. Like, we didn't get to meet him for long, but what we did get from him was great.
So Callan's like your golden retriever, little cutie, whereas Violet's like a bad bitch and she does not settle for anything.
He loves pushing her buttons. Yeah. He actively goes out of his way to push her buttons. He thinks it's funny as fuck.
Hilarious.
And she's obviously fiery as anything, hothead, just snaps immediately. Yeah. She's too easy to wind up. So they make a great match. Yeah. I can't wait for that.
I can't wait.
But obviously there is, because she does have another love interest as well, Violet, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah, because her ex-boyfriend.
Who they still very much like each other. Yeah. But they've chosen not to be together for whatever reasons. And he obviously very much does still like her. So I'm wondering if that's going to end up being some kind of love triangle situation even.
Wait, because they're best friends as well.
They're boys, yeah.
Yeah, the boys.
Wait.
Don't say it.
Is it going to be a white choose?
Fuck off. Can you imagine? Oh my God, I cannot. I simply cannot.
Oh, it better be a white choose.
If that's not a white choose.
A white choose now.
I know. I feel like you've put that in my head now. What if it's not?
Yeah, but he wasn't a horrible person, the other guy. Neither of them were horrible.
No, they were lovely.
They made a point of saying that her ex-boyfriend, everyone kept saying in it that he was such a lovely guy and he still loves her. And they're best friends.
We're going to get a white choose.
I think it's going to be
white choose. It's going to be a white choose.
It's going to be white choose.
It's going to be a fucking white choose.
And reverse age gap. Oh my God.
So ex-boyfriends. Oh my God, what a series. Ex-boyfriend's dad. I choose reverse age gap.
Lord have mercy.
Jesus Lord.
Yeah.
That'll slap.
It fucking will. If this is anything to go by, and this is a standard normal age gap ex-boyfriend's dad, if this is anything to go by, this is a 5 stars. Yeah. Surely they're only going to get better.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the last one.
Woohoo!
This one's only about 300 pages, which actually I think was about the same length as Alive and Wells, to be honest. So this one is... shall I just introduce this one?
Yeah, go for it.
So this one is Veiled Obsession by Billie, Jade, Kermack. And like I said, it's 300 pages. We did eyeball read this one. So this is Why Choose Cowboys Twin Brothers, if you don't mind. There's obviously no sword crossing in this, by the way. It's not that kind
We're
of
not on Taboo anymore.
No. Revenge. They're on a revenge hype, these cowboy twins. Serial killer, so there's sort of an element of a whodunit, murder mystery type situation going on. Okay, so before we rattle through any thoughts on this, do you want to just give a really quick rundown?
Yes, absolutely I will.
I will say, before you give a rundown, we are, as you will probably know by now, we are absolute whores for a why choose.
Yeah, slags.
If it's a why choose, we're in about it. If you tell me that why choose has cowboys in it, you best believe I'm there with bells and fucking whistles.
Yeah, for sure.
Telling you right now. I will say, this isn't a cowboy romance. It's more like a romance that just happens to have cowboys in it.
It's a dark romance, but the twins are cowboys, but they were back in the day.
Yeah, it's more like they were cowboys back in the day, like they grew up on a ranch. Yeah. So they grew up in that environment, so it's just natural for them to be cowboys, but there's no ranching or anything like that. It is literally a dark romance with twin brothers who just happen to kind of wear cowboy hats.
Okay, so we have got Ebony, who grew up in foster care. Back in the day, to find a bit of love in her life, she found these 2 twin boys. As we said, they're the ones that lived on the ranch, so she used to go and see them all the time, and they used to kind of mess around and play games and all this stuff.
Yeah, I think they lived next door, on the ranch next door to her foster home.
Yeah, so they sort of saw all these bad things that were going on with her foster dad. So something bad ended up happening and they ended up in a psych hospital. So 6 years later, she's going to university and it turns out that she was the reason they ended up in this psych hospital. So they're going for revenge.
Yep.
On the way, Ebony finds herself a lovely best mate called Megan, who I actually really liked her.
I agree.
She was great. But also, the side note, we have got a serial killer situation going on where it's a fella called the Horseman and he's actually unaliving girls that look like both Ebony and Megan for reasons unknown.
For now.
Until you get to the end. So yeah, that's it really.
It's not like a situation where they are trying to find out who the killer is. They're not doing that. No. There just happens to be a serial killer on the campus that's taking and murdering girls that just look like them, and they're just sort of we need to be vigilant or whatever. But no one's actively trying to find out who done it. The cowboys, however, are sort of trying to figure it out, like what's going on this campus. So they kind of like follow her to this uni campus, and they plant cameras in her home. They come in when she's sleeping. So what originally starts out as them trying to get revenge and kind of like fuck with her a little bit. Like there's one day where she's sitting in the hall or something in the university, and there's a big projector up, and one of the teachers or the head teachers on the stage, and they end up fucking with the projector to put pictures on the screen that only she will know what they mean. And they're quite traumatic for her to see, and she starts crying and she gets upset and whatever. And it's not long after that they do kind of present themselves, so she realizes that they're back, and then they start to rekindle things. But what starts out as a revenge hype for them two very quickly changes into them trying to keep her safe from this like serial killer. So they're trying to like fuck with her but also keep her safe at the same time, and then that gets a little bit messy between the two of them because then feelings get involved, and then obviously the revenge arc is kind of forgotten. And it really is just about the progression of their relationship for like the first 200 pages, and then the last 100 pages is really where the serial killer comes into play. You get fucking double triple plot twists.
It's mental.
You know, people aren't who you think they are. And everything all comes out. Like the last 100 pages is insane. It literally got to a point where I was like, I think I still had like 60 pages left, and I was like, is this not wrapped up now? Like what the fuck else could possibly happen in these 60 pages? And then you're hit with like another fucking plot twist. So yeah, it all goes off in the last 100 pages. And I will say the last 100 pages for me were actually the most enjoyable part of this book.
It was good.
So yeah, the first 200 pages was slower moving because it was more relationship development. You did have a couple of things going on. Like there was a situation where she went to a party. She was in a closet, which we'll talk about in a minute, with one of the cowboys. She didn't know it was one of her cowboys at this point. She just thought it was some random bloke that she was getting it on with. And something very bad happens after that closet situation at this party, and it's not long after that the cowboys present themselves to her because they end up having to step in and protect her, and then it's inevitable that she finds out that they're there for her.
But you've got like one cowboy that is obsessed with her, as in will say that he still loves her
from the get-go.
He's the one that's in the closet. And then you've got one who's trying to hold on to the fact that he needs revenge.
Yeah, he's like clinging on for dear life. Do you want to quickly go over the closet scene before we do start?
Oh, I'd love to. So she goes to the toilet in this. Is she in like a house?
Yeah, it's like a house party.
House party. She goes to the toilet, but she like clocks some guy in a little cowboy hat, and she's like, "Oh, I like a cowboy hat." Like we all would.
Yeah.
If we saw a cowboy hat, we'd be like,
"We get you, girl."
I'll stand there and just stare.
Yeah.
So she's like staring at him, but he's kind of got like half of his face covered, so she can't really see what's really going on. But she can tell by the way that he's standing that she wants a piece of that cake. This other girl goes up to him and is like flirting with him, and I can't remember what he said, but she found it funny because the girl that went up to him trying to come on to him was like a bit of a bitch. So then she goes into the toilet, she comes back out, and he's no longer there. So she's like trying to look for him. Fucking hell. Sorry, there's cat hair everywhere. This is absolute carnage. So she's trying to look for him. She can't find him. She sees him go into the closet. So then she's like stood outside. And she's like, do I knock? Like, because I want to do stuff with that man. Anyway, so he gets her into the closet. He gets her on her knees. And he goes straight in with the old throat business. And at the same time that he's doing that, he FaceTimes his brother and is like, hey, see what's going on here?
Yeah.
Hey. She doesn't know, obviously, because she doesn't know that that's him, and she doesn't know that he's on the phone. And then he gets her off afterwards, and then they part ways. But I mean, it was delightful.
Yeah, so I think like when she stands up, he gets her facing the door so that she can't really see that it's him. And then he gets her off, and she ends up gushing all over his cowboy boots.
Yeah.
And then she kind of rushes off after that. She was like, oh my fucking God. And then she starts thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't have run off and all this kind of stuff. And anyway, shit goes down after that. And then that's where it all goes west. Really.
Yeah, it goes to shit pretty bad.
Really goes west. Yeah. It goes west and then it goes further west. Okay, should we do stars and chili peppers?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what do you give the stars?
For stars, I gave it a 4. And for chili peppers, I gave it a 3.
Stars, I gave it a 4. And chili peppers, I gave it a 3. So let's talk about, before we finish up, let's talk about the DP scene.
Yeah.
Because I understood nothing of what happened in that scene.
I'm not
I enjoyed
lie.
it, but I understood none of it.
For a start, I don't know how we ended up at a circus. I'm not going to lie. Her friend Megan is like, "Oh, I'm going to go home with my man. Are you going to get back okay?" And she's like, "Yeah," because she's going to go find her little cowboys. She found said cowboys, and then they end up doing like shibari with like red ropes, wasn't it? It was everywhere. It was all on her arms, all in her legs. It was
all around her body and her hip.
She was everywhere. Like her body was everywhere.
Yeah. So that they hooked her up onto like the aerial hoop somehow, and then lifted her off the ground. That is the moment where my understanding flew out the fucking window. Literally, I had no understanding of anything after this point until we got to the DP stage. The bit in between, I have no idea. I don't know what was that. 1 minute, her back was arched and her face was by the floor. She was looking at their shoes, but he was on his knees behind her, going to town on her. But then the other one was standing in front of her and his pee-pee was in her mouth. And I was like, yeah, but her head is by the floor. The logistics of that weren't. So I don't know if I misunderstood, but I was like, I got to a point where I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to stop overthinking it. I'm just going to enjoy it.
So I felt the exact same, but it was, I think, like the last part of the whole scene, they were like sandwiching her, and I was like, well, I get that.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So I'll understand this bit.
Yes, that's
but
exactly
yeah,
what
everywhere
I was like.
else that she was, I was like, oh, at least she's got something in her mouth.
You just couldn't not understand the sandwich bit, because it was literally like one of them is behind, one of them is in front.
Yeah.
She is
holding
in the middle.
Holding her up, yeah.
Double penetration. So it was literally like that part was easy. That's how the scene ended. But the bit in between, then they flipped her at one point, and I was like, right. So now she's attached somehow to the ropes on her stomach. So to me, she would have been in the air like this. You know, like this is the middle of her body, and the hoop is here, and she's attached to the hoop there. And this is her feet, and this is her head here. That's how she ended up before they did the DP.
Right.
And I was like, again, I don't know if I could have totally misunderstood that, by the way. I might be way off the fucking mark. But she was 100% attached to a hoop.
Right. No, I mean, I'm still lost now. I just know she was in a sandwich situation at the end.
The sandwich situation at the end was fucking great.
Yeah. We love stuff like that.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Do you know what? I just think, like, keep it easy. Let's not overcomplicate it.
Yeah. Also, do you know what I was thinking as well? Like in that scene when they started doing all this, because the start of the scene, they got her to get on like a pommel horse.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
And like ride this pommel horse. And I was like, wait a minute. Like literally, the show has only just ended. The performers are probably still cleaning away. Surely they're going to be like you're literally out in the open in the middle of the circus.
It seemed like there was no one there. To be fair,
yeah, obviously it seemed like there was no one there, but
in real life,
yeah, there obviously must have been quite the time jump then.
Yeah,
because it's not just a case of like show's over, guys, and then it's just poof, nobody exists anymore.
Bosh.
Yeah. Anyway, it's fiction, so anything can happen.
I'm not gonna lie. I had that thought in my head throughout this whole book. Well, it is fiction, so yeah, it could have happened.
Yeah, you write whatever you want, really. Yeah, could have happened. Yeah. So although it was cowboy themed weeks, we did actually read 2 extra little taboo books. They were very, 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 very short. I think they were like both under 100 pages. One of them was called My Sweet Ruin. We cannot remember what the other one was called, but they were both heavy taboo. If you've read like Darkest Descent or Double Edged, it was, you know, those kind of vibes. Dark as shit. Bit weird.
Yeah, they were intense.
They were very weird.
Poor,
really odd.
They were dark.
One of them was like in a bunker, and actually I'm not going to ruin it. I think that was My Sweet Ruin, I think, wasn't it?
I actually enjoyed that one.
It wasn't too bad, yeah. They were just really good quick reads if you're into taboo stuff. I think because we were just like really struggling to get out of our taboo era.
You need to read that one that I read last night. So I read another one called Primal.
Yeah.
Which is dad and a stepdad.
Oh yeah. Said you were going to read that.
You need to read it.
So explain that one a little bit more. It was dad, stepdad, and what did you say to me the other day?
It was dad, stepdad, and her boyfriend. Yeah. They all turn up at a cabin together because they've all booked the same cabin because the auntie gives them all the same location, and there's like a booking error, obviously. So they all turn up at the same cabin. There are 3 bedrooms, and then the boyfriend just gets really weird, and he's a bit of a dick. And the stepdad and daddy are going to show her what she's missing.
His dad or her own dad?
Her own dad.
Wow.
Yeah. It's intense.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, I'll read it. Fine.
Yeah, I know you will. You'll
Just
love it.
I think that's it, guys,
Yeah.
Even though it was only 4 books that we spoke about, we really did say a lot of words.
We are doing romantasy next, with a little bit of dark romance kicked in.
Mixed in, yeah. We do tend to throw some rogue ones in, but the general overarching theme for the next 2 weeks is romantasy. So we're aiming to do Anathema, because the next book, is it called Eldritch?
Yeah.
Is coming out very, very soon, actually. So some of our books for romantasy, the options are the female, which you've seen a lot of that going around, Anathema, Eldritch, hopefully, fingers crossed if we can get to it, Blood of Hercules.
Fuck yes.
What else? Kissing the Craven, something like that. I can't remember what it's called. So there is a couple of more on top of that. And like we say all the time, we have some books that are like dead set. Like we're like, yeah, we are absolutely going to read those ones. And then the others we can kind of swap and change depending on time, depending on our mood, like that kind of thing. Based on that, we'll see you in 2 weeks for our romantasy weekly. Well, I can't really say weekly reading wrap up anymore because it's not weekly.
Bi-weekly.
Bi-week. I hate the term bi-weekly.
Do you?
It just feels so poncy and professional.
2 weekly.
Right, that's it.
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers.
Sure.